Focus is a weapon, slay distractions and win your day. Written by Ronnie Rowland. Published by Growth Literacy Lounge. The war you don't see. Every morning the battle begins. Not with sirens or marching drums, but with a vibration in your pocket. A ping. A scroll. A thought. The war for your attention is silent, but it's relentless. And by the time you've blinked your way through breakfast, you've already lost territory. This isn't just distraction. It's invasion. Your time isn't stolen in hours. It's bled out in moments, 30 seconds here, 90 seconds there, until your day collapses under the weight of everything you meant to do. But there's a reason you picked up this book. Somewhere deep inside, you're tired of the ambush. You're ready to fight back. Focus is not a soft trait. It's not passive. It's not polite. It's a weapon. And like any weapon, it must be trained, sharpened, and deliberately deployed. As Jim Rohn once said, either you run the day, or the day runs you. This book will not ask you to hustle harder or chase more hours. It will show you how to reclaim your clarity, your calm, and your control, not by doing more, but by doing what matters. Here you'll name your enemies. You'll train your instincts. You'll forge mental armor and wield your attention like a blade. Because in a world designed to fracture your mind, those who stay focused are those who win. Welcome to your war room. Let's sharpen the blade. Chapter 1: Name your enemy. The enemy doesn't kick down the door. It whispers. It shows up in the form of a quick scroll before work. A harmless tab opened during deep work. A sudden urge to check email for the 5th time in an hour. Distraction isn't a beast, it's a shapeshifter. And until you name it, you can't kill it. Every warrior knows, the first rule of survival is threat detection. You don't win battles by swinging blindly. You win by targeting precisely. Yet most people stumble through their day unaware they're under siege. They wonder why they feel drained but didn't move. Why they had time but accomplished nothing. Why their to-do list mocks them at night. The truth? They never named the enemy. Distractions are engineered to feel urgent but cost you nothing in the moment. But over time, the tax is heavy, fractured focus, shallow thinking, and a numbed-out mind that confuses motion with progress. Here's the battlefield. Your phone buzzes during a critical task. You pause. Just for a second. But when you return, your momentum is gone. Your mind, now off course, takes 20 minutes to realign. Multiply that by 10, and you've lost your edge. Now magnify that across months, and you've lost a year. What steals your attention most? Be ruthless. Name it. Notifications. Slack messages. Social feeds. Comparison loops. Doom scrolling. Multitasking. No enemy can be slain if it's cloaked in justification. It's not just checking in, it's a precision strike on your clarity. Start tracking. For one day, write down every distraction. Every glance at the screen. Every pivot mid-task. Don't judge it. Just record it. At the end of the day, look at the list. You've just unmasked your enemies. When a Navy SEAL prepares for an op, the first question isn't how do I win? It's, where's the threat? Focus works the same way. You cannot defend your mind if you don't know where the ambush hides. Psychologists call it attention residue, the cognitive cost of switching tasks. Like muddy footprints across a white floor, each distraction leaves a mark. The brain doesn't flip like a switch, it drags the last task with it. That drag steals performance. The ancient Stoics believed clarity was power. They trained themselves to see reality without illusion. You must do the same. See distraction for what it is, not entertainment, not relief, but theft. And when you name it, don't stop there. Decide, which ones are non-negotiable kills? Maybe it's the way your phone lives on your desk. Or the way you default to email the moment something gets hard. These aren't habits. They're holes in your armor. Begin to close them. Try this, set a distraction window. 1 hour a day where you're allowed to check, scroll, bounce. Outside of it? Discipline. This isn't deprivation, it's training. Every enemy you identify sharpens your blade. Every moment you protect rewires your mind for war. And every time you catch distraction mid-swing and stop it, you win. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're simply untrained. Now you're learning to see. Focus begins with awareness. Tomorrow, it becomes action. Distraction thrives when it remains unnamed. Tracking your distractions reveals the patterns that sabotage your day. Naming the enemy is the first step to reclaiming your mind. Where is your focus bleeding out moment by moment? Track every distraction you experience today, then review the list tonight. Name your enemies. The war has begun. Chapter 2: Design the Battlefield. A warrior doesn't walk into chaos. He shapes the terrain before the fight. Your environment is not neutral. Every object, sound, and open tab has weight. They either pull your mind toward clarity or fracture it into noise. If you want to focus, you don't just need discipline, you need an arena designed for victory. Start with this truth: the modern workspace is a minefield. Phones glow. Alerts blink. Desks pile with clutter. The enemy doesn't need to storm the gates when it's already sitting next to your coffee mug. Your environment trains your brain. The clutter on your desk? That's a mental echo. The dozens of tabs open? Each one whispers a different unfinished task. The phone within reach? A grenade with the pin half pulled. But here's the shift: you're not a prisoner to it. You're the architect of it. Great performers across disciplines understand this. Artists design studios that eliminate distraction. Athletes train in precisely controlled spaces. CEOs block time and guard it with ritual. It's not about perfection. It's about removing friction. Consider the law of least resistance. Your brain defaults to the easiest option in any moment. If your phone is within reach, you'll reach. If distractions are one click away, they win. But if you make distraction harder to access, you weaken its grip. This is why deep focus isn't just about willpower. It's about reducing the number of decisions you have to make. Each decision is a leak in your cognitive tank. And by 3 p.m., most people are empty. So design like a tactician. Clear your desk of anything unrelated to your current mission. Close all tabs but one. Turn off every notification not tied to life or death communication. Use noise-canceling headphones, not just for sound, but to create ritual. Even light matters. A dim, yellow-lit room creates mental fog. Natural light sharpens alertness. Temperature, posture, music, all small edges, all battlefield choices. Create visual cues. A specific mug for deep work. A playlist that signals it's go time. These aren't quirks. They're switches. You're telling your brain, *, the fight begins now. Olympians don't wait until the competition to prep their gear. They lay it out the night before. That's not routine, it's readiness. You need the same mentality with your space. And let's not forget digital terrain. Your phone is not neutral. If the apps are still on your home screen, they're weapons turned against you. Rearrange them. Remove them. Use grayscale. Or better, exile the phone to another room entirely. Focus is not just a habit. It's an ecosystem. And the more intentional you are about your surroundings, the less resistance you face when the moment to perform arrives. Even a 5-minute ritual before work, a sweep of your space, a breath, a reset, can shift your posture from scattered to surgical. Design the battlefield before you step into it. When distraction rises tomorrow, your environment will answer first. Make sure it answers with silence. Make sure it answers with clarity. Make sure it answers with your weapons already drawn. Your environment silently dictates your ability to focus. Reducing friction and decision fatigue increases clarity and control. Design a workspace that trains your brain for depth and stillness. What part of your current environment is setting you up to lose? Declutter your workspace and remove one digital distraction today. Make your environment an ally, not an enemy. Chapter 3: Guard the Gate. Not every battle is won with offense. Some are won with the discipline to say, "Not today." Your attention is a gate. And every minute, something is pounding at it, demanding entry. Some requests arrive like thieves, silent, subtle, stealing your time in small slices. Others show up loud and legitimate, dressed in urgency. But both have the same effect: they fracture your focus. What most people call busy is often just unguarded. The calendar is flooded not because they're essential, but because the gate was never locked. Meetings stack. Emails flood. Commitments multiply. And by week's end, they wonder why nothing important moved forward. Guarding the gate begins with understanding the cost of saying yes. Every yes is a no to something else, usually something that matters more. You can't write the book, launch the project, or build the dream if your focus is being rented out to everyone else's agenda. Look at your day like a castle. Who gets access? Who gets a knock? Who gets a wall? If everything is allowed in, nothing sacred survives. Great creators, leaders, and thinkers share one trait: fierce protection of their time. They block it. Guard it. Defend it like treasure. Because it is. The world won't protect your focus. That's your job. Start with your mornings. The first hour is sacred ground. Letting it be hijacked by texts, news, or inboxes is like throwing open the gates before the army is even dressed. You need that hour to orient, to sharpen the blade. Try this. Choose one daily non-negotiable. A task, a goal, a priority that earns your highest energy. Mark it. Circle it. Make it immovable. Let the rest of the day bend around it, not the other way around. Guarding the gate also means rethinking your default responses. Let me check. And, sure, I can squeeze that in. Are cracks in the wall. Every commitment should pass through a filter. Does this serve my mission? Will this move the needle? Am I saying yes out of fear or clarity? Boundaries are not walls against people. They are walls around priorities. If you don't set them, no one will set them for you. People will always ask. Systems will always demand. But only you decide who enters and when. There's strength in no. Not rudeness, but resolve. When you guard your time, you give your best to what matters instead of crumbs to everything. The most dangerous threats to your focus rarely look like threats. They look like favors, opportunities, or small tasks that pile into giants. The inbox alone is a Trojan horse. Every message carries an implied ask. And once opened, it owns a piece of your mind. So guard it. Check messages on your terms, not theirs. Block times for deep work when communication is off. Let the world wait while you create. That's not selfish. That's strategic. A focused life isn't built by reacting to everything. It's built by choosing with intention. You can't do everything. But you can do what matters. And to do that, you must stand at the gate, sword in hand, and decide, every hour, what gets your focus. Because what gets in, gets built. Your attention is a gate. What enters determines the shape of your day. Guarding time requires boundaries, filters, and deliberate no's. Focus flourishes in protected space, not constant access. Where in your life are you saying yes too easily? Choose one. Non-negotiable task for tomorrow and block out time to protect it fully. Lock the gate. Chapter 4: Kill the noise. Silence is not the absence of sound. It's the absence of clutter. Most people live in a constant hum, a buzz of low-grade noise that never fully registers but always pulls. It's not just volume, it's vibration. The relentless flicker of screens, the ambient pressure of alerts, the mental fog of too many open loops. Noise isn't just external. It's internal. Lingering worries. Unfinished tasks. Loose ends dangling in the background like static. You try to focus, but your mind is already carrying 10 conversations and never finished. This is not life, it's mental suffocation. The enemy isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's the podcast playing while you write. The news running in the background. The open browser tab. Just in case. You need it. Each one seems harmless. Together, they become a storm. And you're trying to build a fire in the rain. Noise steals depth. You may feel busy, but you're not cutting deep. You skim the surface of your work, your thoughts, your day. The mind needs space to settle, but noise keeps it stirred, like silt in water. Until you still the surface, you can't see the bottom. The world won't hand you silence. You must create it. Begin with digital sound. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Not just silenced off star. Audit your apps. Which ones serve your mission? Which ones just shout? Delete what doesn't serve. Rearrange the rest so that nothing distracting sits within one tap. Then, clear the ambient input. Constant audio, whether music, voices, or entertainment, can become mental clutter. If you're doing deep work, try silence. If you must use sound, choose tracks designed to focus, not stimulate. Now go deeper. Mental noise. The background chatter of your own mind. Much of this comes from unfinished commitments, things you told yourself you'd do but haven't. These act like open apps on a computer, draining RAM. Close the loops. Write down every unfinished task. Everything from errands to big projects. Don't solve them, just name them. Your brain craves resolution. And naming the noise gives it shape. Next, confront informational noise. The average person consumes more data in a day than someone in the 1800s encountered in a lifetime. You were not designed to carry this much input. Your mental diet matters. Curate it. Choose 1 or 2 sources of information and ignore the rest. You're not obligated to know everything. You're obligated to act on what matters. And finally, emotional noise. Resentments, anxieties, frustrations. These are fog machines for the mind. If left unaddressed, they become background distortion. You don't need to solve them all today. But you must notice them. Journal them. Speak them. Move them out of your head and onto paper where they lose their grip. Stillness is not laziness. It is the sharpened state of a mind ready to cut. A focused life is a quiet life. Not because nothing happens, but because you've silenced the junk that doesn't matter. You don't need more input. You need more space. Imagine a samurai sharpening his sword in a noisy marketplace. Every clang, every shout disrupts the edge. But move him to a quiet room, and the blade sings. You are that blade. Kill the noise. Let clarity rise. Noise, both external and internal, dilutes focus and drains clarity. Creating silence is a deliberate act that begins with subtraction. Stillness is a force multiplier for depth, creativity, and execution. What noise have you grown so used to that you've stopped noticing it? Choose 1 hour today to work in absolute silence, no audio, no notifications, no noise. Notice what shifts. Chapter 5: Train the Strike. Focus is not a mood. It's a muscle. Too many people treat it like weather, hoping it shows up, blaming the day when it doesn't. But the truth is colder. What you haven't trained, you can't trust. If your focus feels fragile, it's because it's untrained. Muscles don't grow by chance. They grow under tension. You don't build the tension in theory. You build it through reps, and like strength training, focus grows through intentional discomfort. It's built in the moment you want to check your phone, but don't. In the urge to jump to another task, but stay. Each decision to remain is a rep. Each rep adds force to your strike. Begin with short sessions. Don't aim for 3 hours of deep work if you haven't done 30 minutes. The mind, like the body, adapts in stages. Start where you are. Block 25 minutes. Choose one clear task. Eliminate all escape routes. Then begin. The key is immersion. True focus feels like falling into the work. Time disappears. Awareness collapses into action. This state, known as flow, doesn't arrive by accident. It requires a setup, a meaningful task, clear stakes, and zero interference. When those align, the mind locks in. But before it locks in, it resists. Discomfort is the gatekeeper. The first 5 minutes feels stiff. Boring. Frustrating. This is where most people bail. But those who stay break through. The boredom fades. The resistance melts. Momentum begins. Track your reps. Use a timer. Each focus session is a notch on the blade. Momentum is not motivation, it's measurement. What gets tracked gets sharpened. Don't confuse stimulation for focus. Scrolling fast, jumping between tabs, feeling busy, these are shadow forms. Real focus is slow, deep, boring at first. But this boredom is sacred. It is the doorway to depth. Build rituals around your strike sessions. Athletes warm up. Musicians tune. You should do the same. Light a candle. Put on a focus playlist. Sip the same drink. Whatever it takes to signal the brain, now we go to war. And after the session, celebrate. Not with noise. Not with escape. But with a breath. A stretch. A note of progress. When you honor the work, the brain starts to crave it. Over time, this training compounds. You move from 20 minutes to 45. From 1 session a day to 3. You become the kind of person who focuses, not by effort, but by identity. Because the mind adapts. When it learns that you will not reward distraction, it stops trying. When it learns that you enter work the same way each day, it anticipates. Preparation becomes autopilot. Autopilot becomes mastery. This is how warriors are built, not through passion but practice. And in a world drowning in drift, the one who can aim and strike again, wins. Focus is not found. It is forged. So pick up the weight. Feel the tremble. And do the rep anyway. You're not training for today. You're sharpening for everything that comes next. Focus must be trained through consistent, structured practice. Short, deliberate sessions build momentum and strengthen attention. Ritual, repetition, and resistance are the pathway to flow. What if your inability to focus isn't a flaw, but a muscle you haven't trained? Set a timer for 25 minutes, eliminate all distractions, and commit fully to one task. This is your first rep. Chapter 6: Break the Loop. Some traps don't look like cages. They look like cycles. Wake up. Check phone. Scroll. Rush. Task switch. React. Repeat. By evening, the day feels like a blur. You were busy, maybe even exhausted, but nothing meaningful was built. That's the loop. Not dramatic, but deadly. A pattern of shallow movement that masquerades as momentum. And it feeds itself. The more distracted you feel, the more you reach for distraction. The more scattered you are, the more appealing escape becomes. Loops steal your edge. They normalize distraction. They convince you this is just how modern life works. But just because a pattern is common doesn't mean it's harmless. Just because it feels normal doesn't mean it's natural. The mind was not designed to reset every 5 seconds. And it will never become sharp in a blender. To break the loop, you must interrupt it. Not with grand resolutions, but with micro pauses. Moments that say, I see the pattern. I will not feed it today. The most powerful tool here is a reset ritual. A deliberate action you can use to interrupt the spiral and return to presence. Athletes use timeouts. Pilots use checklists. Warriors recenter their breath. You need the same. Create your reset. It could be as simple as standing up, breathing deeply, and asking, what matters now? Or closing your eyes and visualizing your task finished. The point is not the ritual, it's the return. You're stepping out of the trance. Second, build conscious transitions into your day. Most people leak energy between tasks. They finish one thing, check 3 apps, and drift into the next without intention. This fog accumulates. But you can clear it. End each task with a close, write down the result, take a breath, set up the next. This builds rhythm, not residue. Third, limit context switching. The brain handles one cognitive gear at a time. Jumping from writing to texting to planning fractures your focus like glass. Cluster similar tasks. Block your day. Mornings for deep work. Afternoons for meetings. Give your mind a lane and let it run. Now let's confront the deeper loop, the belief that you must always be on. This is a lie sold by hustle culture and reinforced by technology. But focus is not permanent ignition. It's a rhythm. Like breathing. Tension, then release. Push, then recover. Even elite performers work in pulses. You must too. Build breaks with purpose. Not as an escape from work, but as fuel for the next strike. Go for a walk without your phone. Eat without input. Breathe without urgency. These are not wasted moments. They are sharpening stones. Lastly, beware of evening drift. The way you close the day sets the tone for the next. If you end in chaos, random scrolling, passive consumption, you begin tomorrow with a foggy brain and a frayed will. Instead, create a shutdown ritual. Reflect. Reset. Choose your focus for tomorrow. Prime your weapon before the sun rises. Breaking the loop isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. And awareness turns the cycle into a choice. You are not a machine. You are not a victim of momentum. You are a weapon. But even weapons need resets. So pause. Step out of the trance. And strike again. Focus destroying loops thrive in unconscious behavior and task switching. Reset rituals and conscious transitions create control and clarity. Rhythmic breaks and intentional shutdowns prevent drift and sharpen performance. Where in your day are you stuck in reactive cycles that dilute your focus? Create a 60-second reset ritual to interrupt distraction and recenter your mind. Use it at least once today. Chapter 7. Make one thing sacred. In a world obsessed with multitasking, doing one thing with full attention is a radical act. Most people sprint through their days chasing 10 things at once. Their calendars are stuffed. Their minds flicker. Their goals dilute. And by nightfall, they've touched everything but completed nothing. This is not ambition, it's fragmentation. It's the illusion of productivity with none of its fruit. But there's a sharper way to live. You don't need to conquer your entire list. You need to crown one thing king. Each day, one task must rise above the rest. Not just in importance, but in reverence. A non-negotiable. A sacred strike. The thing that, if completed, makes the rest of the day feel like a win. This is not another item on your list. This is the list. Everything else becomes support. This is not about neglecting your responsibilities. It's about protecting your priorities. When everything is urgent, nothing is important. When your time is divided, your impact is watered down. Clarity begins with a question. What is the one thing I must protect today? This question slices through the noise. It exposes the false fires. It forces the mind into alignment. And once you answer it, the day gains a center of gravity. But choosing is only the first step. Protection is the real battle. The world will not honor your sacred task. The moment you begin, interruptions will circle. Urgencies will tap. Your brain will rebel. Resistance will rise. That's the test. Your one thing must be guarded with ritual. Block the time. Announce it to no one. Shut the door. Turn off the feed. Create an environment so anchored that the world has to break through layers of intention just to reach you. You are not avoiding others. You are honoring something. And when you do, something shifts. Time bends. Energy focuses. You enter that rare, sacred state where action feels inevitable. Flow. Precision. Momentum. These are not random gifts, they are the rewards of sacred focus. There's a reason monks live by ritual. Artists guard their mornings. Builders work in sprints. They understand, the one thing done with full attention becomes a force multiplier. Not every task deserves your best energy. But one always does. This sacred task isn't always big. Sometimes it's simple, writing a proposal, finishing a design, preparing for a meeting. But the sacredness isn't in the size. It's in the intention. When you treat something as sacred, you elevate how you approach it. You slow down. You remove the excess. You show up with both hands on the sword. And that's the difference between drifting and cutting. This is not about being perfect. Some days will fight back. Distractions will win rounds. But the act of choosing, daily, deliberately, builds a pattern. A rhythm. A spine for your schedule. Over time, it becomes identity. You stop being someone who reacts to the day. You become someone who defines it. One sacred task. Chosen with clarity. Guarded with discipline. Completed with presence. This is how days become wins. And wins become momentum. Multitasking fractures your power. Focusing on one sacred task amplifies it. Daily clarity on your most important action anchors your energy and schedule. Sacred focus is a ritual that transforms effort into momentum. What is the one task today that, if completed with full focus, would make everything else lighter? Choose tomorrow's sacred task tonight. Block time to complete it. Treat it like a sacred appointment with yourself. Chapter 8. Move with precision. Motion is not progress. Busyness is not effectiveness. Noise is not impact. The world rewards speed. But speed without aim is chaos. A blur of movement that exhausts the body and scatters the mind. Most people are sprinting through life with no target. They check boxes. Clear inboxes. Attend meetings. And at the end of the week, they wonder why nothing deep has changed. Precision is the antidote. Precision is not doing more, it's doing what matters, exactly when it matters, with full intent. A sword swung wildly may look impressive, but a single strike to the right spot ends the battle. Focus works the same way. It's not about intensity alone. It's about alignment. To move with precision, you must define your target. What does a successful week look like? Not vague goals. Not hopeful outcomes. Specific wins. Tangible movement. Clarity sharpens the blade. Without it, you drift. Every action you take either brings you closer to or further from the core mission. Precision means asking before you move, does this directly serve the outcome I want? That question alone can reroute your entire day. The brain craves closure, not complexity. Long lists feel productive but dilute your energy. Instead, begin each day by selecting 3 high-impact tasks. These aren't busy work. They are battlefield moves. Tasks that, if completed, shift momentum. This is your daily triage. Ruthless. Clear. Strategic. Then, commit to full execution. Not partial starts. Not jumping midstream. One task. One block of time. One target. Strike. Then recover. Then strike again. This rhythm rewires your mind from passive consumption to deliberate creation. Moving with precision also means honoring your peak hours. Everyone has a window where their energy, creativity, and clarity spike. For some, it's early morning. For others, late evening. Identify yours. Guard it. Use it for your hardest work. Don't waste it on shallow tasks or empty calls. Even warriors rest between strikes. Precision includes recovery. It respects energy. It plans for it. A tired mind makes scattered decisions. A rested one cuts clean. So build recovery into the rhythm. Short breaks. Walks. Stillness. They aren't breaks from focus, they are preparation for it. Eliminate unnecessary motion. Automate what doesn't require your mind. Delegate what doesn't need your touch. Say no to what doesn't align with your aim. Every bit of reclaimed energy can be reinvested where it counts. This is how elite performers operate. Not faster. Sharper. They don't brag about how many things they did today. They brag about the right thing they finished at full capacity. This is the shift from motion to precision. Because when you move with precision, the day doesn't happen to you. You happen to the day. Each action cuts. Each hour counts. The week ends with momentum, not regret. This is how you become dangerous. Not by doing everything, but by doing the right thing, at the right time, with everything you've got. Precision beats busyness. It transforms motion into meaningful progress. Clear targets, high-impact tasks, and full execution drive focused momentum. Protecting your peak hours and eliminating waste sharpens your strike. Where are you moving fast but hitting nothing? Tomorrow, choose 3 high-impact tasks. Complete the first during your peak focus window, with full intensity. Chapter 9. Build the Fortress. Distraction is not a glitch. It's the default. If you don't construct a system that protects your focus, the world will dismantle it for you. Every day brings 1,000 micro-invasions, tiny interruptions that seem harmless but add up to collapse. Without a defense, you'll find yourself reacting, not creating. Drifting, not directing. Surviving, not striking. You need a fortress. A place, mental, physical, and structural, where your priorities are safe, your time is guarded, and your best energy is aimed like a weapon. Fortresses aren't built out of willpower. They're built out of systems. Repeatable rhythms. Protected rituals. Unbreakable rules. Start with boundaries. Not soft preferences. Hard lines. When does your deep work start? When does it end? Who gets access to that time? What devices are allowed? What's the rule when something urgent comes in? Write the rules down. Make them visible. This removes decision fatigue. When the moment comes, you don't negotiate, you follow protocol. Pilots don't guess before takeoff. They execute checklists. You need the same discipline for your focus. Next, establish your weekly planning ritual. A fortress is not just defense, it's strategy. Once a week, zoom out. What matters most? What are the top 3 battles this week? Where will they go on your calendar? This ritual prevents drift. It makes your week intentional before it begins. Within that week, build daily startup and shutdown routines. Start with clarity. End with closure. The startup sets your aim. What's today's strike? The shutdown clears your mental field. What's finished? What's next? And what's still open? This rhythm keeps your weapon sharp. Now reinforce your environment. Your workspace should signal one message: this is where deep work happens. No clutter. No noise. No mixed signals. If you work everywhere, you work nowhere. Designate a space. Fortify it. Treat it like a command center. Technology must serve the fortress, not breach it. Turn devices into tools, not triggers. Silence everything by default. Whitelist only what's essential. Use apps that block digital temptations. Build a dashboard, not a playground. Inside your fortress, time blocks are sacred. They are not vague intentions. They are unbreakable appointments with your most important work. Protect them like gold. Don't start late. Don't let them spill. Don't multitask inside them. One block, one battle, full presence. But even fortresses must flex. Life throws storms. Emergencies knock. A fortress isn't rigid, it's resilient. When something breaks the plan, don't spiral. Reset. Reorient. Resume. Fortresses survive not because they never fall, but because they recover quickly. And finally, your mind must become part of the structure. Mental resilience matters more than walls. Build self-awareness. Notice when you drift. Catch it early. Recenter. This awareness is your internal guard. Over time, your fortress becomes identity. You are no longer someone trying to focus. You are someone who protects what matters. Your systems don't rely on motivation. They create momentum. And this is where real progress lives. Not in a single breakthrough, but in a structure that makes focus inevitable. Build the fortress. Live inside it. Let it defend your clarity, amplify your discipline, and multiply your results. The world is not getting quieter. So build something stronger. Focus thrives inside systems, not scattered effort. Boundaries, rituals, and structure create a fortress around your attention. A strong environment, calendar, and mindset protect your deepest work. Where is your current system exposing you to distraction? Design a simple daily startup and shutdown routine. Begin tomorrow. The fortress starts with rhythm. Chapter 10. Master the reset. Even the sharpest blade dulls. Focus, no matter how strong, will bend under pressure if never maintained. Life doesn't move in straight lines. Some days hit harder. Some weeks unravel. In those moments, it's not the perfect routine that saves you, it's the power to reset. The difference between amateurs and professionals isn't that professionals never fall off track. It's that they return faster. They reset without shame. They don't spiral, they recalibrate. This is the forgotten weapon, the reset. Most people treat a broken routine like failure. They miss a morning and throw away the week. They get distracted once and call the day lost. This thinking is a trap. The truth is, the reset is always available. Not tomorrow. Now. At any point you can pause. Breathe. Clear the mental slate. Return to presence. The fastest way to reset is to reconnect to your mission. Ask what matters right now. Not what's urgent. Not what's loud. But what cuts. This question acts like a compass in the storm. Then act. One small move. One micro win. Don't wait for the mood. Don't wait to feel ready. Reset with motion. Clarity returns through momentum, not thought. There's a physiological shift that happens when you reclaim control. Your posture changes. Your heart rate stabilizes. Your mind unclenches. This isn't woo-woo, it's biology. Resetting grounds your nervous system and tells your body, I am not lost. I am back. Your rituals are reset tools, too. When the day spins out, return to your breath. Your music. Your pen. Your walk. Anything that grounds you in now. These anchors turn chaos into clarity. But the most powerful resets are scheduled. Plan your recovery like you plan your work. Strategic pauses. Weekly reflections. Time off that restores, not numbs. Because burnout doesn't just kill energy, it clouds judgment. You start swinging wildly. You confuse activity for aim. Regular resets sharpen your self-awareness. You begin to sense the drift earlier. You catch the fog before it thickens. And with practice, your bounce-back time shortens. What once took a week to recover from takes an hour. Then a moment. This is resilience. It's not toughness. It's flexibility. The ability to bend without breaking. To adapt without collapsing. To reroute without losing the mission. Even elite performers, especially elite performers, live by resets. Athletes have recovery protocols. Creatives take sabbaticals. CEOs build white space into their calendars. Not because they're weak. Because they know focus isn't infinite. It must be restored. Rest is not retreat. It's reload. So stop waiting for perfect days. Start mastering the restart. Fall off? Fine. Return. Distracted? Return. Burnout? Pause. Then return. Every time you reset, you train your brain to rebound. Every reset becomes a rep. And the more reps you have, the faster you return. This is the skill that turns focus from an occasional state into a lifelong strength. Not perfection. Precision. Repeated. Realigned. Every strike doesn't need to land. You just need to keep returning to the blade. Focus isn't about perfection, it's about mastering the return. Quick, intentional resets prevent spirals and restore clarity. Resetting is a skill that strengthens resilience and rebuilds momentum. How do you currently respond when you lose focus, and what needs to change? Choose a go-to reset ritual, something quick and grounding. Use it the next time focus breaks. Train the return. Chapter 11, Win the Day. You don't win a year. You don't win a quarter. You win a day. Then you win the next. And suddenly, the compound effect begins. Most people lose focus by aiming too wide. They obsess over 5-year plans and lofty visions, yet stumble through their mornings unsure of what actually matters. Big goals crumble without daily precision. It's not the dream that builds momentum, it's the strike you make today. Victory lives in the day. Every morning the war resets. The distractions return. The noise circles. The temptations dress themselves in productivity. And every morning you get to decide, do I drift, or do I aim? This decision is your power. Winning the day starts before the world wakes. Not in urgency, but in intention. A quiet moment. A plan drawn. A target chosen. This is not routine, It's warfare preparation. The general doesn't walk onto the battlefield hoping. He plots. So must you. The day bends to the one who enters it with clarity. That means waking with awareness. Defending your first hour. Beginning not with input, but with presence. Before email. Before alerts. Before the outside world defines your value, you define your mission. Then you attack. One sacred task. Full focus. Deep work. Strategic breaks. A reset if needed. Another round. This is how warriors move. Not frantic. Not passive. Just forward. You will get pulled. You will be tempted. The world will offer you 100 easy exits. Decline them. You've trained for this. You've built the fortress. You've sharpened the blade. You know how to strike, reset, and strike again. And when the day ends, you don't evaluate your worth by how many things you touched. You ask, did I protect what mattered? Did I make space for depth? Did I live this day on purpose? If yes, you won. This is how lives are built. Not in heroic bursts, but in repeatable victories. Days won with focus, stacked like bricks. You don't need to dominate time. You need to direct attention. The hours don't care what you hoped for. They obey what you executed. This is the final truth. The one who learns to focus, really focus, not once, not sometimes, but daily, becomes unstoppable. Because while others drift, you decide. While others scatter, you strike. While others consume, you create. And when the world tries to drag you into 1,000 directions, you reach for your weapon. You breathe. You cut through the noise. You reclaim the moment. This is the way. Win the day. Then win it again. Mastery is not built in grand efforts, but in daily focused execution. Clarity, presence, and consistency are the foundations of winning the day. Your life is the sum of days you chose to own, not survive. What does a one day truly look like for you, and are you building one today? Tomorrow morning, wake with a mission. Choose your one sacred task. Protect it. Complete it. Win the day. Take care and be well.